We just got some huge intel regarding the ongoing Joel Embiid situation. Is the injury more concerning than we originally thought? Potentially, but the Sixers finally revealed a plan that can hopefully get him to the postseason healthy. I am pumped. And Andre Drummond talks about what Joel Embiid said to him on the phone that convinced him to be a Sixer again. We will get into it all, but welcome into Philly Take with RB. This one's presented by BetUS. Do me a favor. Go down below right now, hit the subscribe button, and help us get to our goal of 40K subs. The season is 9 days away. Smash the like button right now. If you are pumped for the start of this season, we will have all the coverage and more. We are taking it to a new level. I cannot wait. I'm so freaking pumped to get things underway. And we will get into the Joel Embiid stuff, but a couple quick hitters that I want to start off on. Oh, by the way, I know there's going to be one or two down in the comments. Oh, RB, this is criminal. How are you not going to start off on the main point? Listen, buddy, the video is literally broken up into chapters. You can fast forward. You can go ahead. This is the modern day age with technology. You can fast forward, and we got some things to talk about. Tyrese Maxey, the man in the arena. This picture gave me chills this morning, man. Look at that. Tyrese is locked in. He's on his own island. He is going to dominate the NBA this season. Also, Nick Nurse talks about KJ Martin. He says that KJ had a really good camp. One of the guys that I've been pleasantly surprised with, he had a big summer working on his shooting, right? KJ said he hired a shooting coach. It looks better. It looks like it's going in a lot more in the charted stuff that we do. So, again, can KJ Martin be a hidden gem? Can he emerge as a power forward that can get real minutes for this team? It would do wonders. We'll see how it plays out. But apparently KJ Martin's stock is on the rise. And the last thing before we get into the Embiid stuff, Andre Drummond says that he signed with the Sixers because the best center in the NBA recruited him. I've always been a Drummond guy, man. But those types of comments right there, you got to love it. Giving his support back in Joel as the best big man in the game. Quote, getting a phone call from the best center in the NBA saying, I need you here. It's hard to tell him no. And he should have been here last trade deadline if the Bulls were not incompetent. But we had to wait a little bit longer. The best backup Joel Embiid has ever had is back by his side. And man, Drummond rebounds everything. I can't wait to see what he does this season. Oh, and now he's a shooter as well. Beware. Beware, NBA. All right, we will talk about the Joel Embiid stuff because Tim Bontemps today of ESPN put out a huge article, and he talked about Joel Embiid's injury plan for this season. After a high-risk plan paid off, the Sixers hope this is the season they can finally experience a playoff breakthrough. Here is their plan to make it happen, including how they're trying to get Joel Embiid back to the playoffs healthy. Okay, I want to know from you down below in the comments section, do you think that this is the year for the Sixers? Is this the year they put it all together, now with PG, with Maxey escalating, that they can get to the playoffs healthy? I'll talk about my thoughts and we'll go over it all, but I got to give a shout out to our sponsor of today's show, BetUS. Ladies and gentlemen, go over to betus.com right now and use the code YouTube150 to get a 150% deposit match bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Shout out to BetUS. Speaking of Joel Embiid, they have an odd right now going on. Joel Embiid, Defensive Player of the Year. I know it maybe is a long shot, but Joel Embiid's defensive presence always goes under the radar. Right now he's a plus 4,000. Is there any chance that maybe Joel slides a bit off of having to score 40 points a night and maybe improves his defense even more? He's already a beast in the paint, but imagine what he can do with more weapons around him now. I think it's pretty good odds for a guy that could potentially be a long shot. So go check out this odd and go check out betus.com. Once again, use code YouTube150 to get a 150% deposit match bonus when you sign up. Shout out to them for partnering with the channel. All right, let's talk about this article, how the Sixers plan to get Joel Embiid to the finals. There's one thing missing, all right? And Tim Bontemps lays out what the Sixers are going to do this season that is different from every other season. Talks about the signing of Paul George, and Daryl Morey said this regarding the signing of PG. It definitely was the best plan, even though it was a very, very risky plan. He's talking about giving PG a max contract, given his age, etc. Sixers had to cash in, go all in. We know that. They talk about Joel Embiid's injury history, now being 30 years old. And here is what Joel Embiid said regarding playing back-to-backs. He says, quote, "If I had to guess, I would probably never play back-to-backs for the rest of my career." So I've been saying all offseason that this needs to be the season where they finally prioritize Embiid's health for real, right? No back-to-backs, load manage him, do whatever it takes. Thankfully, Coach Nick Nurse has experience with this, which we'll get to in a second. After playing in just a 433 of a possible 637 games across 8 seasons, not counting the first 2 years that were lost to foot injuries, Embiid's days of playing back-to-backs appear to be over. Morey says we're going to be smart about it. Part of being smart is having both Paul and Joel probably not play many back-to-backs. So that includes Paul George as well. And maybe now the Sixers feel that even if they don't have Embiid in the lineup, that Maxey can take that step and be enough to win the Sixers a game and play that primary role as the ball handler, the scorer, etc., because of how good he is. And maybe there's nights where Embiid doesn't play, but Paul George takes over. So they're going to need that, right? And it says that an organization-wide priority to get Embiid, who is ruled out for the rest of the preseason, to ramp up for the Sixers season opener to the playoffs in the best health possible. For Nurse, Philly's plan should look familiar. Nurse coached Kawhi Leonard during the Raptors' breakthrough championship season in 2018, during which Leonard played just 60 games and sat one leg of every back-to-back. The plan helped Leonard play all 24 games during the postseason run, averaging 30.5 points and 39.1 minutes per game, en route to a Finals MVP. And trust me, Sixer fans know this well enough. We don't need to be reminded. But at this point, this makes perfect sense. Why play Joel on back-to-backs? Why put more emphasis and more stress on him early in the season? It doesn't matter. We've seen that every year. Get this man to the playoffs healthy. I go back to the one quote he said in the podcast with Drew Hanlon. He said, "I would trade everything, every accolade, every, MVP, scoring title, whatever it is, to get one healthy playoff run. Not even one championship, one healthy playoff run." This guy needs to be on the biggest stage. He needs to perform better, but he also needs help around him, and he needs guys that will take some of the load off his own shoulders. And Joel Embiid needs to get to the playoffs healthy. Last season was insane that he even came back to begin with, that he's dropping 50 on one leg against the Knicks, very injured. And I mean, he had an injury that was pretty much, keeping anybody else in the league out for the rest of the season, but he battled back and he risked his own personal health to get back on that floor, which I will forever respect. Anybody that says he's not a competitor is straight up lying to themselves or a hater. But Joel Embiid, it says, will emulate a plan that could present a challenge. In 2018, the Raptors went 17-5 in the 22 games Leonard sat. Nurse, though, was quick to point out that the version of the East was far shallower in terms of top-end teams than the current conference projects. It wasn't the same deal, Nurse told ESPN. I'm okay with that. I don't think we can get super caught up with getting to 45, 55, or 65 wins. AKA, if you have a squad and you guys are healthy, we got a lot of older people on this team, just get us to the first round healthy and we'll go from there, right? Does the seeding even matter? It doesn't mean as much as it has in recent years, right? We've seen a lot of upsets. We've seen a lot of chaotic craziness in the playoffs. Get this team to the dance and see what they can do. Now, Embiid will also begrudgingly continue to wear a brace on the left knee he injured in January, but while he has always been uncomfortable wearing a face mask or a brace at any point, he said it will not stop him from doing the things that have made him one of the league's most dominant forces. Quote, "It's the right thing to do and the right thing that's going to give me the support for the rest of my career. For me, it's a mental thing. I hated it, but I started telling myself, okay, I have to do it. That's the only way they're going to let me play. It might not look as good as it used to with the jab or the pull-up and all that stuff, but it'll still work." So, look, man, Joel knows he's maturing. He's getting older. The guy's 30 years old. This is not going to be one of those players that plays till he's 42. Let's just be honest. It sucks. The amount of injuries that Joel's had would probably end 85% of players' careers. Like, Joel's had to go through a lot. And I think last season, the injury more so just took a mental toll on him. Like, he was like, damn, I'm averaging 35 points per game. I'm doing everything I can to get my body in the right shape. And I get injured again. So part of it, again, is with his playing style, but you can't really take that playing style or that strategy or just his mental clock out of him. He's going to do certain things, but maybe the way to go, instead of what Nurse did last year by coming in and saying, we're going to have him play more, is to have him play less, dial it back. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. Look at the last 2-3 seasons. Everybody is freaking hurt when we get to the postseason. We don't need an MVP. We don't need an all-star. We don't need any of it. Just get Joel to the dance healthy. Let this team rock. Maxey, PG, Embiid with the role players and the supporting cast, and they should have a good shot to get it done. I mean, we saw how hard they even battled against the Knicks, and if they had somebody that was better than some of the supporting cast, they probably go to the conference finals. So the window is dwindling. The opportunities are dwindling. They need to capitalize and make it happen now. This has to be the season. The question is this the right plan, and will it work? Guess we'll just have to wait and find out. Give me your thoughts on all this down below in the comments section. Again, shout out to BetUS for sponsoring. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And that being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.